Greetings, people. Greetings. Welcome back to BBK Sports. Another day of transfer madness. Not sure if it's madness include our club because it's done and signed. What they said. Bamba hit back in January and it's done and signed. Zubi, defensive midfielder, CM. Not the attacking signing that we need as of yet, but it's a signing nonetheless. Nonetheless, Zubi appears to be crossed the line. Kepa seems to be close, crossing the line. Now we can turn our attention to Sesko, yeah? Because it's going to be Sesko, isn't it? It's not going to be Alcaraz. It's not going to be Osimhen. It's not going to be a proven goal scorer. It's going to be a prodigy, a Slovenian prodigy from the German Bundesliga. Well, we'll see how that works out for us. I'm not gassed, but that's who he wants. That's who he's going to get. That's who Mr. Mikhail is going to get. I see Bluebird on stream. Big up to Bluebird. I'm going to start a comment right there because I know what you're talking about. I'll get back to that in a minute. And big up to Alvin in the building. People, big news coming out of England, not Arsenal related. It's Job Bellingham. The Job, following his brother's footsteps, going into the mighty land of Germany to play in the Bundesliga for Dortmund. Good move. Good move by any stretch, anyone says. But Dortmund must really rate this kid. Because Dortmund typically selling club. Dortmund typically don't buy players like that. They typically sell players for big money. So when you see Dortmund line up and put up almost 40 million for a 19-year-old, they see something there. And I've actually heard reports that he is better than the older brother. And I love it. Because as a younger brother who followed in the footsteps of an older brother who played football, I love to see the younger brothers doing well. But him going to Dortmund just seems to be a good environment for players to thrive in it. Like, when's the last time you heard anything bad coming out of Dortmund? Like, anything in Dortmund usually turns into gold. So many players go there, develop, and move on and just do great things. You know, before Klopp was there, when Klopp was there, after Peter Bartz, all these men coach there. They're like the Ajax of Germany. They just keep churning out gems and gems and gems from Dembele and Aubameyang and Lewandowski, Mandzukic, Gundogan and Bellingham, and they just keep doing it, you know? Even Ian Maatsen last year played in the Champions League final with Dortmund, a big one. It's a big one. So big up to Joe Bellingham. You know, it seems like seems like a good kid handling the pressure of being in the shadow of his older brother and still, to help bring Sunderland up to the Premier League and do his thing to get a big move to Europe, to Germany to play ball for Dortmund. It's a good look. So big up to him. Midfielder. I think he's more like a classic CM, not your classic defensive midfielder, but he is a box crusher. You seen him go forward. He's good on the ball. Man, big up to Job, man. Job is doing his thing. Well, big up to Bluebird. Big up to the BX Gunner. The BX Gunner in the building. Big up, man. Hope everything is good with you, man. Greetings upon you. Big up to BBK. Says, why not? Well, I'm not charging, bro. Everything good. Blessed love, my brother. Hope you stay safe. And like Scants, what's up with you, bro? It's a weird transfer. The Joe one. Yeah, out of nowhere, because I didn't see any links like that, him going to Dortmund and then bang, But Dortmund typically get their signing right. When Dortmund get their identify a target, they go get them. And all the names that I just listed off between Mbele and Lewandowski and Aubameyang and all these men that came to Dortmund, I didn't even mention Erling Haaland. That's just how many people they have turned out at that football factory. It's like but Dortmund At some point, Dortmund gonna have to transition from a farmers club, uh, talent producing club, and they're gonna have to win something. They're gonna have to win something because when I lived in Germany, all of the stadiums that I went to, Allianz Arena, Deutsche Bank Park, Mercedes-Benz Arena in Stuttgart, that Dortmund stadium, yeah, that Signal Iduna Park was the craziest stadium I've ever been to in all of Europe. They have an environment there that is just like no other. And they sing "Never Walk Alone" in full English. So Scans would appreciate that. If Dortmund ever play Liverpool in the Champions League away, make sure you go. You got 60, 80, 81,000 Germans singing "You Never Walk Alone" in full English. It's a mad one. So they're gonna have to start winning at some point instead of just being a selling club and selling club. Because they've seen Leverkusen come and win. They just can't sit back and let Bayern Munich dominate the league and dominate the league and dominate the league. There is a rivalry there. For the rivalry to exist, you have to win sometimes. Can't just be a Liverpool / Everton where Liverpool win all the time, Bayern winning all the time. Dortmund gonna have to eventually start winning, or their fans will eventually start to turn. CRY7, Cry 7. That's a funny one. I just saw a clip, I just saw a clip of him. They're comparing him to Messi on his knees crying. And none of his teammates ran to him. But they showed the clip of Messi in the World Cup when all Messi's teammates ran to him. The internet is undefeated, bro. I'm telling you. The internet is completely undefeated. Arsenal regards Zubi as a done and signed. What the? No, Ross. Oh. Yeah. To be linked with someone from January, and here we go drop in May, and he's still not holding up the shirt. It's kind of a weird one, And I know the international. He's been playing international duty and all this stuff. But the transfer rules, they allow you to announce the player. Obviously, he can't come hold up the shirt, but if Arsenal Football Club are listening to their fan base, if they have a true pulse of the fan base, he needs to be holding up that shirt as soon as possible, like today. All right. Matter of fact, the minute Germany got knocked out of the Nations League, he should have. The minute Spain got knocked out of the Nations League after that final, he should have been flying to London to do his medical and hold up a shirt. If Arsenal was listening to their damn fan base, I don't think that Arsenal Football Club are getting the true pulse of their fan base. And one of the reasons why I believe they're not getting the true pulse of their fan base is because they watch too much damn AFTV. The social media director for Arsenal Football Club, he doesn't go to Lee Gunner's channel or Northside or Shane or Aaron. They go to AFTV and they see the craziness. They see a happy fan base. There is no way they have the true pulse of the fan base to know how uneasy we are at the moment going into a window when we're known for dragging our feet. We want to see something different. And the transfer window's been open for 10 days now. We've been dragging our feet, and we're not seeing anything different. And if Andrea Berta has his ear to the streets, he should know this. We should know this. And every signing that we are linked to should be not the status quo signing, not the Chelsea reject, not the prodigy 22-year-old. Needs to be big moves that will send a message. I don't want to say move the needle because you never know if a player is going to come to the Premier League and bang, but you want to send them a clear message of intent, what the season is going to be like with a new sporting director at the helm. Big up to Scans. He changed his name to just Joe because he wanted to be out of his brother's shadow, but then follows him to Dortmund. Then follows him there. Just weird. Okay, yeah, I can hear that. But the other side of the coin is it's a good environment. It's a good environment for my brother to thrive because I don't think they're that much different. If he is cut from the same cloth as his brother, then Dortmund should work for him. But I can. That's definitely a good point. Maybe he changed his name to Job just for marketing purposes, right? And you have to develop in your own right to be able to be marketable. So not being a Bellingham and just being your own Job gives him that distance, or that separation from his brother to be marketable, but he still has to deliver on the football. And if it's one place known for developing young players, it's Dortmund and it's Ajax, or the Man City Academy. And Jude isn't a good footballer. Wow. Why not doesn't rate Jude? Why not does not rate Jude? But this is what I'm saying. Dortmund typically don't spend money for players. Big money like that. They usually sell them. I think, 40 million for a 19-year-old midfielder, CM, is big money for Dortmund. So they see something there. Unless it's marketing, unless it's marketing. Following in the footsteps of his brother, because they're going to sell shirts off of him. They are going to sell plenty of shirts. Big up to man like Static in the building. I'm at work, man. Have a good show. Appreciate you, Static. I finally got you modded, my bro. So big up to you, man. Hope everything is good on your side. Big up, Sabi. All your Maryland fans are here right now, Chief. Oh. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, BBK. That was unexpected. Thank you, man. Yeah, man. Big up, Static, man. Big up, man. Everything is good on your end, my go. Let's break that down. Arsenal regard it as done. Does the player or selling club not matter? I think this is a way of Arsenal trying to put a lid on it, so to speak. Done and signed. Normally, when Arsenal, anything is done and signed, there's a picture with Arteta on one shoulder, Edu, or the new sporting director, on one shoulder, and the player sitting there signing. And there's an interview that followed and all this stuff. The only grace that you can give Arsenal right now with the Zubi signing is that he just played a final on Sunday, and today is Tuesday, and the logistics of it having to get him to England and do the paperwork and all that stuff. But if they do this and it does not happen, the egg on their face will be so vast that I don't know how they PR and spin that to regard the signing as done and signed. Then the player ends up at Real Madrid. How do they spin that? I don't know how they would. I don't know how they would. So if they're gonna come out and say it's done and signed, and I'm not sure who quote that was. I don't know if it's anonymous sources at the club. I don't know if that's from Arteta or Roberta. But for someone to say done and signed, and then it doesn't happen, questions will have to be asked. Have to be asked. Why not bigging up BX, Scans, and Static? Yeah, man. Appreciate you bigging up everyone, bro. Community settings will say. I'm gonna try and get on Talk Sport phone in the next time and have an Arsenal section, bro. It's probably 200-300 people calling in on that line just to wait. And I think they screen your questions too. I think when you call into these radio shows, they ask you what you're gonna ask, and if it doesn't line up with the agenda that they're running that day, you won't get through. So you might have to ask them. You might have to tell them what you think they would like to talk about, and then when you actually get through, you ask them or you say what you actually want to say. Because these call-in shows be weird. Job is a cheaper. Job is cheaper to print. Yeah, it's 4 letters in it. Yeah, cheaper to print. Because I remember when Lewandowski went to Barcelona, they ran out of jerseys. They couldn't make the jerseys fast enough because they didn't have enough W's. So they ended up putting 2 of these together to make Lewandowski. Didn't have enough W's to put the name on the back of the shirt. Mad one, innit? Big up to Jason Guna. Big up yourself, G. Everything blessed. That's my guy. Hope you're good, brother. He's gonna say, why not? Now, Bluebird up here must have seen a clip or went back and watched an older video from August when I just started doing content. Said, I just seen a clip of your Sterling take back in August. I'm an honest man. I am an honest man, Bluebird, and I'm not going to run from it. It was a panel show with the Reno boys. when the transfer window was winding down. We had only signed or been only been linked with Calafiori, and we were being linked with Moreno. And someone on the panel asked me, would you take Sterling from Chelsea? At the time, I'm looking back at the previous season, the 2023-2024 season, and saw how poor we were on the left side, how poor we were. We had nothing from Trossard. We had nothing from Martinelli. Our entire attack came down the right-hand side. All of our attack, right-hand side, right-hand side, right-hand side. And I was worried about that. Sterling at the time, not a great season at Chelsea, but in my head, my thinking is, guy has 4 Premier League medals. He's an instant upgrade on Martinelli based on Martinelli's output from the last year. Boy, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. Even though Martinelli's been poor this year, even though Trossard has been poor this year, Sterling has been absolute ass. Matter of fact, this morning in a group chat with the San Marino boys, when they asked who the flop of the season was, I completely overlooked any of the Man United players, to include Højlund, which is by most definitions the flop of the season. I completely overlooked him, and I automatically went to Sterling. Flop of the season. 28 games played in all comps, 1 goal scored, EFL Cup, 17 Premier League games, 0 goals scored, 2 assists. And I think one of those assists was against Leicester when he made a 2-yard pass to Trossard. Trossard ran all the way to the field and scored against Leicester away. I think that was one of his assists. So I was wrong. I was absolutely wrong about that. But when our attack was so stinky last year, so damn stinky on the left-hand side, it's amazing to me. And I actually give Arteta credit for this, that we were able to score 91 goals last year. 91. At a goal difference of plus 62 goals last year. That we had nothing on the left-hand side and still were able to generate 91 goals. So there you have it. Yes, won't run from it. It's documented. It's out there. I was in favor of bringing in Sterling on loan, and it didn't work. It did not work. Got that wrong. Got that completely wrong. Now, if only anyone who made a mad take would own it and say they got that wrong. Like signing Kai Havertz for 60-something million and still in the market 2 years in a row looking for a striker, and won't admit that they got that wrong. Because he's worse in the midfield. As bad as Kai Havertz is up front with his output, 9 goals, 23 matches, as bad as he is going forward in the front line, he's worse in the midfield. If you can't play him as a striker, he should be nowhere near our midfield. When we get a striker, the fact that he is our highest paid player at the club, I'm compelled to believe that Arteta will find a way to put him in the squad. And if he can't play in the front line, he will shoehorn him in that midfield. And that is a big, big problem for us. Big, big problem for us. Big up to Winehouse. As to my knowledge, regardless to believe or think, in my opinion, still not concrete. No name source from Frostine. I already got Westin on Fraud Watch. Nothing from Fabrice from RS. I think that's who's Fabrice? Or Zubi from after he said what medical. Oh, okay. What medical? I don't know. Is Zubi just being a professional, not wanting to, rub the Sociedad fans the wrong way and say all the right things and just be cool about it? He's probably, when he does leave, he's probably going to take out like a section in the paper and thank the fans, or go to social media and thank the fans, kind of like how Job did to the Sunderland fans, calling himself the adopted son and all that. Big up to him. Big up to Sabi from the BX Gunner. Big up JG. Yeah, man, Jason Gunner's in the building. I'm not saying, yo, I'm on Wagwan tax national pride back your own could have saved Sterling this year. I mean, 4 Premier League medals. And the thing is, Sterling did score 21 goals in one of his best years at Manchester City. I wasn't asking for that. That would have been cool with 10, 11 goals from Sterling off the left side. You know what I'm saying? I was like, Martinelli. That's just. It was more of an indictment of how I was feeling about Martinelli and just how dead he was from 2023 to 2024. And this year, he still didn't take another leap. You know, he the goal that he scored against Real Madrid. You have flashbacks to the goal he scored against Chelsea when we had 10 men and we drew 2-2. That's what Martinelli is good at, running into space. Unfortunately, we dominate the ball, so that space is not always there. We're a ball dominant team, so that space is very limited. So you have to be intentional with your movement. Your touch has to be close. So your head's got to be up. His head is always down. Big up to Lion Tex. Big up to you, bro. Hope everything is good. Really enjoyed that fandom experience with Shangoon on your channel the other day, bro. That was class. That was absolute class. Both Marino and Havertz are like for like mistakes. defensive liabilities and dead midfielders. The thing with Marino, though, at least Marino has a little bit of tech and can strike a ball cleanly. Right? I think even in a couple of Champions League games, one of the games where Trossard scored, where Moreno hits the ball, hits it cleanly, goalkeeper can't deal with it, puts it back out, Trossard taps it in. Kind of like Odegaard at Anfield the last day. Slaps the ball, Alisson can't deal with it. Moreno finishes, get the header. Average shots are so they lack conviction. There's no confidence in their shots. They're so flimsy. Unless the ball is in the air, he doesn't offer much. And Moreno in the air is actually good. That goal he scored against Liverpool at the Emirates, classic Moreno goal. He's an aerial monster. But I think pound for pound, tech for tech, this for that, tit for that, he's way better than Havertz. But I don't want to see him leading the front line. I really don't. I want to see someone in the front line who's used to playing in the front line, someone who's scoring goals. Someone who's scoring the damn goals. Yep. Now, another report that's coming out this morning with the Sesko deal, as we have done and signed, and Kepa's in the bag, and Zubi is done and signed, is now that Victor Osimhen has rejected Al Hilal, and Al Hilal has turned their attention to Sesko. That's the rumor this morning. And these transfer stories, they just get weird and weird because you have to wonder, is this a real deal or it's just a matter of the agent trying to raise the price up because they know it's Arsenal. And they know that Arsenal are desperate for a striker right now. Absolute desperate for a striker. You're the guy. We have made it clear, not in so many words, haven't come out and say that Sesko is the guy. But the football world pretty much knows that Arsenal have turned their attention from Gyökeres directly to Sesko, if it was even on Gyökeres in the beginning. Yeah? So Al Hilal gonna come after Sesko. And if he goes to Al Hilal, then what do we do? Do we go back in for Gyökeres? Do we go for Osimhen? Or do we just stick with what we have and run it back with, Mikel Arteta's favorite son and Kai Havertz leading our front line? Because the same way I just didn't run from that Sterling take that I made back in August, I'm not going to run from the take now that I'm going to make, that I believe on opening day, whether we sign Sesko or not, Kai Havertz will be starting number 9 for us. He will be. He will be leading us out, leading the line. It will be Raya. It will be our back 4. It will be Odegaard, Rice, probably Zubi or Moreno. That's going to be Saka, Martinelli, and Havertz. I'm not running from it. That's what it is. That's what it's going to be. I highly believe that's what it's going to be. But if Arsenal are serious about getting Sesko, just go get him. Quit fucking around. Just go get him. Go get him. Start your preseason now. Get it over with. Rip the Band-Aid off. All right, don't slowly peel it off. It hurts more, costs more damage. Just rip it off. Let's go get him. That way he can start his preseason. That way he can see how soccer plays. That's so he can learn where the runs are going to come from, because he is a young striker. He is not a seasoned, experienced striker with instincts who have developed over time. Right? He's been playing professional football for what, 4 or 5 years at the highest level. It takes time for him to develop those instincts. Those instincts, Gyökeres already has. He's 27. A lot more football between 22 and 27. Lots of development going on. Lots, and if you don't develop and hit your peak during those years, you'll never hit it. You'll be a lower, mid-table to a lower level striker. You'll never be able to lead the line for Arsenal Football Club or any of the top clubs if you don't develop in those your early 20s to your mid-20s. You know what I'm saying? But go get them. Quit fucking around and just go get them. Big up Tex again. Said more episodes to come. Yeah, bro, that show was class, man. Show was class. I've definitely got to link up with you and get you on BBK Sports one of these days, so I can get the story of men like Lion Tex, the killer graphics on the channel. Big up to you, bro. Yaga, Master Likes, people says views. Okay, views. You see my WhatsApp status, so you I haven't been able to catch up with your intervention this morning because you saw what happened. I'm a little woozy right now from the meds. I still have to come on here and get my therapy from the community, from my people. So big up to every one of you all watching. Why not say I saw the tweet from Fraudstein confirming Zubi maybe. Oh man, let me go to my applause button. I gotta make it louder. That is a top comment. That is a top comment from my man. That is funny as hell. That is funny as hell. Why not? I'm gonna start this one. Definitely comment of the day right there. I don't think anyone can beat that. That will be comment of the day. You can bring it up and judge yourself. Okay, I'll check it out. I'll definitely check it out. Big up, Mr. Robo. Hope everything is good, my bro. Sesko. Ooh, I know that she said Saudi. Sing along. Saudi. Yeah, Saudi, man. Al Hilal. We can't compete with that. If we can't compete with Man City and Man United money, we damn sure can't compete with that Arab money. If he's going to Saudi, let him go to Saudi. Maybe a blessing in disguise. You know, we may dodge a bullet like we had dodged Mudrik. Osimhen rejected the big duffel bag of Saudi offering $300K after tax, and now he's linked to United, who are also in for Gyökeres. So that's an interesting take because this tells me that Gyökeres, not that Osimhen, is the United one kind of makes it weird because if it was a Champions League club, then I could say that, well, he wants to play in Europe. He wants to play Champions League football. Or it could be he wants to play regular football at a high level because it's a World Cup year next year. And I guess maybe he could be worried that he won't get picked for Nigeria playing in the Saudi League. But I don't think there's another Nigerian striker on this level that could force him out the squad. But you never know with African football politics. You know what I'm saying? But if you're a Victor Osimhen and you're playing for Manchester United, even though they're in shit right now, and you're playing regular minutes, and there's no way they finish 15th next year, right? So they'll probably be a top in the top half next year, probably in top 6, 7, playing regular minutes for him. He is a short shot to be in that World Cup squad. But I think if United had to choose between Osimhen and Gyökeres, they're choosing Gyökeres. One, the manager knows him, rates him, plays with him. Two, he rates the manager, knows the manager. They won't have to pay him $300K. I highly doubt they'll pay him $2. You know, I think he'll leave the Portuguese La Liga. They offer him 180, he'll take that. And you have a case of you have Mbuemo, you have Cunha, you have Gyökeres, you have Bruno. There's some attacking firepower there that could work. So, you know, Osimhen, he may end up at Chelsea or PSG. PSG would be a safe bet for me. I'm looking forward to the weekend. What's at the weekend? Oh, is it the Club World Cup settings? And July 1st. Oh, when the thing opens back up. Moss Sports World, big up to you, bro. Why not spamming broken record? Big up to why not. Big up to Moss Sports World, bro. Hope everything is good. Broken record is Arsenal. Just taking us around the rigmarole with the transfers. Everyone is holding up shirts but us. Let Al Hilal get the haram and we go for Gyökeres. It could shape up. It could shape up perfectly for them to get Sesko, and then we end up getting a striker that will benefit our team. Because I'm just not filled with confidence going into the season with Martinelli and Sesko as 2/3 of our front line. I just doesn't fill me with confidence. Forgive me for being pessimistic, but it just doesn't fill me with confidence. Why not bigging up Mr. Robo? Yeah. Why not? Mr. Robo said, "Can we get a striker, please? Gyökeres or Osimhen?" I'm good with either one, to be fair. I'm good with either one. I just don't think the club is going to be. If Osimhen is asking for 300K, which he's perfectly justified in doing, by the way, because he's better than Havertz. And if Havertz is on 280, man is like, well, I'm better than that. Look at my numbers. He's well within his right to ask for it for fair market value. But I don't think Arsenal pays that. I really don't think Arsenal pays that. I think Arsenal can negotiate Gyökeres' salary to be, a little bit lower, which is a weird one because Sesko is going to cost more. Sesko is younger, is more expensive. Gyökeres is cheaper, scores more goals. It just makes sense for us to go get Gyökeres, doesn't it? The bagsman, we need goals. He scores them. Big up to the assembled treasured member of the community. Therefore, bro, I will get you on soon. Anytime, bro. Anytime. Dove Vic is an available striker, and Tony Galeno, Andre Silva, Benzema is still alive, LOL, but not joking. I will take Tony, bro. I will take Tony. Tony is a proven goal scorer. Proven. 20 goal a season goal scorer. Great on pens. I think I read a stat one day that said he's never missed one. He's never missed a pen. That's what we need. We need that. I could see him end up at Tottenham when his Saudi career is over. Because right now we're hearing talks of mbuemo going to Tottenham because Thomas Frank is going there. Because Tottenham can offer him Champions League football. He stays in London, plays for his former manager. There's something there. But I don't think Mbuemo is one of those guys who cares about Champions League football like that. Not saying he doesn't care. I don't think he cares about Champions League football like that. He's never played it. He's never played in the Champions League. So it's not like it's a step down for him going from a club who's never played in the Champions League. It matters for some players more than it does for others. Arsenal, the OG, the assembled, late afternoon. Yeah, man, big up to the assembled every single time. So glad to have you, sir. Last summer, we could have gotten Tony, Dove Big, Sorloth, and more, and we chose to get in the Italian Zucchini. The Italian, got pretty hair though, right? Got pretty hair. That's pretty hair. My Sports World. I'm gonna check him out today. Then I'm gonna go check him out. I'll see what this see what Dovvik is all about. Because I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I've seen him play in the extended minutes. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna check him out. I'm home all day, bedridden. So I'm gonna go check that out. I'm spinning broken records because my decks are broken. Big up to why not. The assembled said a team is measured by its center forward. Arteta has been that judgment we haven't gotten one. Speaks for itself, really. Yeah, I hear it. Because 5 full years. December of 2019, so December this year, it'll be 6 years. He got the January transfer window that year, so that's almost 12 transfer windows. And he signed how many attacking players? Havertz, which he told us was a midfielder that he signed him for when he signed him. Jesus. Every other player has been either a goalkeeper or a defender. Goalkeeper, defender. I don't know how much of that was him and how much of that was Edu, but goalkeepers and defenders. Yeah, spot on the assembled, spot on. Jason Gunas, Tony Aguilis, and Arteta only like the one burner on his team. Yeah, so we discussed this, man. We discussed this at nauseum because Arteta wants 22 to 25 nice guys, you know, 22 to 25 nice guys who are engaged to be married. The parents loves them, comes from good families. Oh, bro, we need some drunker on the other side. Need some dogs. Need some shithousers. You know what I'm saying? Some man that will run a red light from time to time. You know them ones. Some mavericks. And we've seen he can treat an 18-year-old maverick in Ethan. 18-year-old maverick in Ethan is completely different than a 27, 28-year-old maverick in Tony. But yeah, man, we need some character in this side, bro. Something that's gonna make teams look at the Arsenal a little different. Right now, we're just too nice. We need some more shithousery in the side. I think outside of Ben White and a little bit of Havertz, no one in the side really does shithousery. Needs some more shithouse. And the midfield, he assembled midfield and center forward. Yeah, he gets midfielders, defensive midfielders. We don't get goal scorer midfielders like that. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, Calafiore. Calafiore. I think he must have been bought for like marketing and modeling purposes, man. Can't hit the ball though. Does hit the ball cleaner than Havertz. Which is a weird one. Our striker can't hit the ball cleanly. Mr. Robo, 80 million under Arteta has been spent on forwards. Isn't that embarrassing? 60th in Europe based on money spent on forwards. Oh my days. Robo with the facts again. Robo come with the receipts. That's crazy. Because I always say to fans, when they ask me, you want this striker, you want that striker, and it sounds kind of snobby coming from someone who doesn't have a striker. That's not, bro. The levels of strikers that needs to be at Arsenal Football Club needs to be at Thierry Henry, Van Persie levels. Not Thierry Henry levels as in, the GOAT conversation of the Premier League, but at that ilk where you would make defenders lose sleep when they're facing Arsenal for the weekend. Van Persie levels. Let's take it down a notch from Thierry Henry because you can't find those everywhere, right? Van sits at the GOAT table for a reason for Premier League players. Not GOAT of all time people. But Van Persie levels, those kind of strikers. When you give him 4 chances, he's bagging 2 of them for sure. You give him 4 chances, you can bank on him to bag all 4 sometimes. But you don't need to give him 8 chances to score 2 goals. Seems like that's what you need for Havertz. 9 in 23. Arsenal Football Club, when you're talking about the striker for Arsenal Football Club, and you're sitting and you're talking to other players of other teams, of other rivals of other teams, the striker for Arsenal Football Clubs needs to be at that table. Right now, we don't even get involved in that conversation if we're talking about best in the world. Right now, the best in the world, if we're talking about center backs, we can have something to say. If we're talking about right wingers, we can have something to say. Right? Every other position, we got to be quiet. Midfield, left wing, center backs, and our right winger are the only players, are the only positions that we're actually strong in. Every other position, we're okay or bad. And we can't win that way. Aubameyang, Lacazette, Nketiah, Jesus, Havertz, Jesus, improvement, if I must say so myself. Nketiah. The fact that he begged Nketiah to stay at this club and gave him Henry's shirt. Sackable. Absolute shambles. And don't let the FA Cup at the end fool you, or Eddie time at Palace. He was in conversations for being flop of the season. Boy couldn't get a game at Palace, but he was meant to be a part of the strike force for Arsenal Football Club. Boy couldn't get a game at Leeds. Couldn't beat that Patrick Bamford when we loaned him there. but he was meant to lead the line at Arsenal Football Club. Come on, people. We speak of Eddie like he was some young buck, you know. Eddie was damn near 24, 25. You're fully created in your mold when you hit 24, 25 playing in the Premier League for at least 4 years. Eddie was no help. He was well within his right to be able to develop and score goals. Just wasn't good enough. I guess Arteta wants to be the biggest hole in the biggest sea Tuesday in the locker room. No one better than me. Dan Gargan set in after rightfully alleged Arbor boxing and I'm glad. Why not? Austin spoke today. So here's the thing, people. I'll ask this, and I ask this to the chat. Big up to all of y'all watching, and make sure you hit the like as you pop in and out the screen, people. But I'll ask this. Do we think that Arteta is sabotaging the club, or do we think he's doing his best job? The best that he can? I really don't think. I don't hate the man. I just love Arsenal more than I dislike Arteta's coaching and managing. I actually think he is doing the best that he can. I just don't think his best is good enough. So if he's doing the best that he can, and his best has gotten us second, and his best has gotten us a distant second. So it was a first second where we should have won the league because we were on top of the league for 93% of the year. A close best in 2023, 2024 when we came within 2 points of the Premier League title, and a distant second this year. Distant second because point tally, goal score, style of play, we have regressed as a team. And I do believe he's doing his best. I believe he's doing the best that he possibly can. His best just isn't good enough. I don't think he's sabotaging the club on purpose. I think in his own head, he thinks he's doing the best that he can. So if he's trying his best and this can only get us second, surely that's justification for us to say, thank you for your service, Mikel. But we think we need to go in a different direction to get us to where we need to go. Because defenders of Arteta, people who are Arteta in will say, we're close. And that may be true. We may be close. But if I don't think you will ever get us there, then you're not close. Because we'll never get to where we need to be. So even though you're close, you're far away. Because I don't think you will ever get there. You're a nearly man competing against that guy, this team, and that team. I don't think he'll ever get there. But I don't think he's sabotaging the team. I just don't think he is good enough. Where did I stop? Why not make me chuckle? Mr. Robo said, we were used to know for having mad strikers. Now we have Moreno and Havertz. Yeah, known for a DM being a striker at the Bernabeu, even though we won, but still, it is a mad one. The dramatic improvement, emphasis on the PR and improve. We were known here, Robo, I got you. Big up BBK Inc. Oh, he's here. He is here, people. He is here. I need to get my button. I need to get my button right.
I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall. Automatic weapons on the floor, but who can you call? My damn bitch, one who live out. When I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare.
E. Ross in the building, people. Big up to E. Ross. You know, E. Ross got to make an entrance. E. Ross got to make an entrance whenever he enters the stream. So big up to him, man, like E. Ross. Big up to you, bro. You make it music. Oh man, I gotta go back in here and stop it. There we go. Now we're back. Now we are back. Now we are back. Now where was I? E-Ross getting bigged up. See, I should have been paying attention to the chat. I would have caught you earlier. Eddie. Yeah, Eddie won the FA Cup, and now everyone is thinking he had a great season. Flop, but won the FA Cup, yeah. Yeah, the boy couldn't get any minutes, bro. Could not get any minutes from Mateta. Big up every time. E-Ross thinks he's sabotaging the club. Be that as it may, that close finish in 2024 and it kind of muddies the water a little bit. But I really think in his head, he thinks he's doing a good job and just doing everything that he can. But us from outside looking in, because he doesn't do self reflection much, I don't think. He just think, yeah, this is going to work and I'm going to try it. But I really don't think he's sabotaging. I think he's just not good enough. He's that. That chick that thinks she's a 10 because all her friends tell her? All her friends tell her she's beautiful. All her friends tell her she's gorgeous. But then she goes out in the world and you don't get 10 experiences. Men who date 10s don't date you. You're not a 10. But all your friends are telling you that you're a 10, but you're not getting 10 experiences. Tantamount to that. He's doing the best he can, yet sabotage it at the same time. Fair? He has done some good things, but the longer he stays and does what he does and says what he says, he's ruining everything more and more. And I can hear that. The longer he stays here, I think he could possibly end up leaving the club in a bigger mess than he found it. To be true. Arteta called him back from Leeds loan. He concerned himself because he boosted Nketiah and couldn't pull it back. Yeah, he boosted the shit out of him. But Eddie refused to sign a new deal. Eddie refusing to sign a new deal at Arsenal, and you convinced him to stay. Remember that Everton game we played in like 2022 when the boy missed from 2 yards out? And then Amari Hutchinson goes down. Amari Gray goes and pings one from 25 yards off the post. Y'all remember that game? Eddie was god-awful in that game. And then, like 2 weeks later, he extended his contract. Both, the more he knuckles down, the Italian Conte, the situation at the club became worse and worse. He's never boosted up Saliba. He never wanted him assembled. We know he never wanted him. We know he did not want him. Because we already went down the road of sending him on a third loan, going to get Ben White for 50 million, giving him Saliba's number 4 shirt. Saliba debuted in the number 4 shirt against MK Dons, and we saw right then and there that the kid was class. But Arteta didn't see that, sent him on loan. Before he came back, he was so good, he turned Ben White into a right back. Let's go! Yeah, big up. Big up to the Waffle Don. E-Ross. E-Ross. Mikhail music. Gotta get his Mikhail music. Waffle the legend getting bigged up. Let's be honest, if we want to talk about sabotaging the club, the owners are the ones that have been sabotaging the club for 20 plus years. And that's it. Truer words have never been spoken. I doesn't even know, even if I were a conscientious subject, I couldn't disagree with that. The owners, they've been able to hide behind, we don't have full ownership over these past couple of years. Now they have to own it. They can't be like, oh, we don't have full ownership. You've had full ownership since 2019? So much so that you have given this manager $250 million to spend. If this was your plan all along, bro, you could have kept Wenger and gave him $250 million to spend. At least the football would have been good. I can't be excited about any signings yet. Maybe a Rodrigo. I would love Rodrigo, bro. Then our attack would be balanced. Our attack would be so balanced to where teams couldn't put their best center backs. Hey, when the ball comes across this way, you go over there and you help Saka because we know there's nothing coming from Martinelli. It would keep defenses honest. Defenders couldn't cheat. Now when they play against Arsenal, they double up on that. They double up, triple up, focus all their attention to Saka, Odegaard, and Timber side. Because they know that's where we attack from. We get nothing from the left. So if you can make an attack predictable, it's easy for you to defend them, innit? Big up Ab says, why not the assembled? All in all, Have Arsenal improved since Wenger left? No, no, because Wenger in his last year or second to last year, won us the FA Cup, against a league-winning Chelsea side with world-class players in it. That Chelsea side had Diego Costa in it, had Hazard in it, with Prime Willian. I don't. Then since Wenger left, one FA Cup, but not even another final. But on the Arteta, one final on the Emery. So I'm inclined. It's something I think about the assembled. Maybe we kept Wenger and gave him 750 million to spend, because we never did that. We were told we had to sell our best players to pay for the stadium. Rodrigo would be played on the right on the Arteta. Would he? Where would he play Saka? So he'd be a backup. If we sign Rodrigo and then he doesn't start on our left wing right away, then I'd have to change everything I just said about him trying to do his best. Then I would completely agree with E. Ross and say he's sabotaging the fucking club if he did that. Because the young man wants out of Madrid because he's being played on the right. And he's best off the left. He does his best work. He can play on the right, which is good. Because then you have interchange and he can provide cover. Saka knows what it's like to play on the left. He came through as a left back. There could be some complete interchange whenever the ball is turned over. You know what I'm saying? The attack wouldn't be so robotic whenever we went forward. So it would be. If he did that, I would be completely in awe. Like, bro, why? Why would you do this to our team? I'd be out of excuses. Not like I like to defend Arteta. I really do. But when he does something good, I do credit him for it. But if he did that, I would take back everything. I'd be like, okay, bro, you're sabotaging the club. I have nothing for you. Absolute nothing for you. What a mess that would be. But I'm curious. Now I actually want to see more links to Rodrigo. Because I'd love to see the kid come. Love to see the kid come and play ball. Excuse me. Apart from the defenders and goalkeeper, what other players are we actually playing in their right position? Apart from the defenders and goalkeepers. Saka? That's it? Hard pressed. Must be Saka. Because I don't know what Havertz is. Martinelli needs to be sold. Trossard comes in and out. Skelly's more of a midfielder, lines up at left back. I've been told he's been given the number 3 shirt, so he probably will be starting on left back and inverting next season. But yeah, the assemble is spot on again. Only Saka. Now the owner hide behind the incompetence of a novice and they use it as a guise for money, in my opinion, down the toilet. Okay. While shuddering and cowering, Lily liver yellow bellying from the big executive decision. And by big executive decision, you mean to sack him, yeah? Saka is a left back. Started there, played well there, but now he's in conversation as the best right winger in the world, or one of. Pepe was meant to be our right winger. And he took Pepe's job while Pepe was in the team. Under Emery at that. Arteta didn't play him there. Saka came through. If I'm not mistaken, Saka came through, started playing left back under Emery. But when Pepe came and Pepe didn't hit the ground running, Saka did start quite a few games at the right wing while Unai Emery was still here. Arteta talks about we have to evolve and adapt. I don't even think he just says that to pivot from the question, Eros. Meanwhile, he constantly does the same thing, rinse and repeat substitution, playing players in their unnatural position because he does. And this is a great comment. You know why? Because he does the same repeat and repeat, rinse and repeat substitutions, right? Like for like. He'll bring in Timber for Ben White for Timber, Timber for Ben White, Martinelli for Trossard, right? But in I think it was the Newcastle game, Havertz comes back, he takes Saka off, but he doesn't bring Ethan on. That would be your like for like. All of a sudden, you don't do like for likes, mate. You bring it on, taking off Saka, and you bring it on Havertz. What happened to your like for likes? All of a sudden, see, he breaks the rules for certain players. But certain players can only get minutes if they're replacing the player in their position. But to get Havertz in the damn team, he takes off his right winger to put on a center forward to move everyone around. But he doesn't do any of that for Ethan. Oh, God. Not one to adapt or evolve. Yeah. Saka is a left back. So we're sold on that, yeah? We're sold that Saka is a left back. I mean, and who do we play at right wing then? Because I prefer Skelly lining up at left back and inverting. I think Saka is good where he's at. I think Saka is perfect where he's at. Maybe Trossard, false 9. Executive decision, yes. Sacking Edu and Vinay. Sacking Vinay, sacking Arteta, pending sacking for Garlic and Berta. Okay. Sack them all. Why not? Sack them. Get them out the club. Pepe was a Raul signing, and Martinelli and Saliba remain from the deals he done and left in mysterious circumstances. Yeah, he was a Raul signing. But, I remember Martinelli was bagging goals on the Emery, Some classic goals too, like headers, left foot, right foot. He was doing well under Emery. For some reason, not so well under Arteta, except for that 2022/2023 season. I still feel like Pepe was misused at Arsenal. I think they gave up on Pepe too early. Yeah, absolutely. There are players that I see get extensive run of games, and I don't think Pepe was afforded that luxury. Like, he put one pass wrong and Arteta would lose his mind on the sidewalk. He gets a red card and the manager fumes him in the press conference. Meanwhile, I see Granit Xhaka choke someone. Burnley player, I think. I seen Xhaka 2-foot Rodri, and we lose the game 5-0 because he got sent off. I seen Xhaka give away penalties in the North London derby. And then the manager just, hugs him off and claps him off the pitch. He has his favorites, He has his absolute favorites. But, yeah, completely Partey, we're not at right back. Yeah, that's true. That's true. A good one. He assembles to Mr. Rowe. Totally, yeah, I agree. Pepe was not used properly at the club compared to how Lille played at the time and how we played. It wasn't going to work. But, Unai Emery wanted Zaha. That's what he wanted. He wanted Zaha, and they gave him Pepe. So Arteta doesn't have those problems. Arteta gets who he wants. Yeah, Emery didn't. Good morning from Vancouver. Zubi made it to Arsenal. Big up to Loudmouth Football. You talking about congratulations. You speaking from the top of the table, mate. Mr. Liverpool. You got words coming in. Probably the best attacking midfielder on the market. You congratulating us on the DM. Big up to you, UD. Hope you are well. I think personally he's got attitudinal problems. He can kiss my arse. You still mad at Zubi for not going to, but just show him the trophy, bro. You got the trophy. He could have. I don't think Sourced won anything this season. When he comes to the Premier League, I tell you what. When we come to Anfield next year, and he starts, the Anfield faithful, they're gonna boo the shit out of him. At the Supermandy. Yeah, everyone at Zaha and Fabinho and got Torreira and Pepe, and he wanted another defender. And I think he ended up with Socrates. I'm not sure who the defender he wanted was. I'm pretty sure the assembled knows. But he wanted another defender, and they gave us Socrates. So he got Socrates, um, Pereira, and Pepe. And Zaha, I think Zaha would have done well for us, you know. Pepe was good under Emery, and Arteta alienated and pushed him out the squad despite coming off the bench and scoring an assist. Yeah, Pepe was cooking, man. Even in those Europa League games, albeit he was class, but in the Premier League, I just didn't play him. So it was the Kroenkes or Raul who sabotaged Arsenal by buying Pepe instead of Zaha. I'm not sure because I was less interested. I was less interested in the business of the club at that time, who was signing who. But we were just so wide open. I remember us going to Watford one weekend. Watford had 22 shots at our goal. The entire Unai Emery. Once those players quit on him, man, and the language barrier, he had a hard time communicating. The media used that against them. Arteta speaks well against these new media people. They like him. They don't give him the same energy they gave to Emery, which is a shame. Nico Williams, Sesko, you think that's happening? I think Sesko is definitely happening. Definitely think Sesko is happening, but Nico Williams, not so sure. I think we'll be linked with Nico Williams. We'll be linked with Rodrigo. We'll be linked with this player, that player. We'll end up with Mitoma. An unexpected name. Even though Mitoma is an upgrade on Martinelli still. Upamecano. Okay. Might have been Upamecano, yeah. Upa Maguire. Upa Maguire is who we were linked with, and they gave him Socrates Papa something. Papa. I used to call him Papa Socrates. Don't even know how to pronounce Socrates' last name. Mr. Robo, big up to you, bro. Tell us what you got coming up, man. I'm about to hop off and go do some madness. Might go get me a little workout here in a second. 27 Prem goals for Pepe over 3 seasons, including first and last season. Yeah, Pepe's numbers weren't bad. Pepe's numbers were actually good. Like, people are shocked when they go back and look at Pepe's numbers. Pepe has had better numbers than Havertz. He's had better numbers than Sancho. He's had better numbers than all these men who cost the amount of money that he cost. But you don't see the same energy go to Sancho as a Premier League flyer. He cost 72 million as well. And he has turned into a lone whore. Because I don't think United want him back. They're going to look to loan him somewhere. You might see him at Villa. You know what I mean? So Pepe gets a lot of slack, a lot of slander. And I thought Pepe had kicked on when he came on and scored those 2 free kicks and announced himself at the Emirates. Not 1, not 2. You see how we rave about Declan Rice free kicks against Real Madrid? Pepe had banged those 2 free kicks in. Those were 2 fantastic free kicks. But, I think Pepe really didn't get a fair shake, and it was clear that the manager didn't want him. And they came to Nuremberg for preseason, and I went and watched them play. Pepe was playing against Nuremberg. He looked so disinterested because he knows these are the only minutes he was going to get. He knew once the season started, he'd be going somewhere else. Stream tonight talking about Zubi, some Sesko news, some other stuff. Mostly upload TikTok as YouTube short as well. Okay, man, cool. We will be there. We will be there, people. People in the chat, make sure you are subscribing to Mr. Robo TV. Mr. Robo 19. Robo does some great content, does some great work for the Arsenal community. And we'll be there to check him out. I have one last one in here. E-Ross says Pepe helped win Arteta his only trophy too. Ooh. See? Yeah. I remember that semi-final against Manchester City. He was class, bro. He was unplayable. He was unplayable. In that 3-4-3 formation, he was he was unplayable. And the thing is, you look at it, that's the only trophy we won. We had great wing play and a goal scorer. Because that Man City team was better than us. That Chelsea team we beat in the finals, they were better than us. but we had a goal scorer, a gunman, in Aubameyang. Twisted up Zuma in the final. Yeah, that Man City performance again in the semifinal in the FA Cup run from Pepe was class. Big up to E Ross for reminding us of that. That was a good one. But people, I have to end it there. I got the wife giving me the scowling look of death from across the way because I'm not supposed to stream today. I'm supposed to be on bed rest with my leg injury, but I have to stream. I have to stream. I have to get my therapy in. I just have to. But Mr. Robo, I'll be tuning in. I'll be tuning in, my bro. Hope everything is good. Big up to E Ross. Big up to Why Not. Big up to the Assembled. Big up to Loudmouth Football. Big up to everyone who checked in today and helped me with my Arsenal therapy. So take care of yourselves and each other. Until next time, we are gone.